When you convened your working group to review the caucuses for the Democratic Party, it was said nothing was off the table.
That's correct.
And then about 20 minutes later, the thing that was taken off the table was a head count. Why don't Democrats concede that they should take a head count of how many people are there?
At the caucuses.
At the caucuses.
Because that's not our system. Our system is designed, and that's,
But Kate's asking, Dave,
why not
change the system?
Because, well, first of all, we'd have to get the DNC's permission. But the second is that we think by using delegates from from precincts to county, that we actually build a stronger party and we incorporate more grassroots input to it. Now, there's been some criticisms of delegate equivalency, but if you stop and look at how delegate equivalency, how people are elected from an individual precinct, it's based on proportional representation, the same as our representatives, the same as our state senators, the same as our city council people. And it works, and it has worked. And, the fact that this race was close, big races never bring any criticism of the process. The fact that this race was close, as you found out in 2012, brings a lot of scrutiny. But the reality is that the results we found in the caucuses have been proven out throughout the entire process. So we're not going to do, I don't think, a head count. Now, I'm still open if somebody can come and make a persuasive argument.
So,
but if
Mr.
you were
Oman,
at the
your
first
party
meeting,
does,
pardon?
Mr. Oman's party does a head count.
And that's,
why? If it's so great to have delegate equivalents, why do Republicans have a head count?
Well, we've agreed, and chairs and co-chairs before us have agreed that we celebrate the other party's choice. We respect and honor that, and I'm not here to tell the Democratic Party how to run a caucus. I'm glad ours is a little more simple. It's perhaps the world's biggest straw poll. We don't need a slide rule, an abacus, and a calculator and all the rest to figure it all out. But we verify. We are able to verify, as we talked about a couple of minutes ago, who's there, how many are there, their preference for a presidential nominee of our party. It's all written down, it's all reported in, as I mentioned, and those names then exist, and we're able to follow up and talk with them through the rest of the campaign. That's a good process.
And that's the point that the Sanders folks make. There was no head count, there was no way to recount a race that was razor thin.
Well, here's the other point about the reason we do it different from the Republicans, and I respect their process, our party respects their process, but we also, in the concept of a caucus with election of delegates, seek to reach a consensus. There's a magic threshold in the Democratic caucus called the 15% rule. You have to have 15% in order to qualify to elect a delegate. But you don't do that just by walking in. You, in the Democratic Party, get a second choice. And the reason for that is our party is trying to build a consensus on who the candidate or candidates should be that advance. And so if you go in there and you were for O'Malley and you find out that you're the only one in the county that was, then you have a chance to consider Sanders, you have a chance to consider Clinton, you have a chance to go independent on this scenario. So part of the reason we do it the way we do is we find that it helps build consensus as we move through the process.